The librarian tried to rupture my daughter's eardrum. I brought my 5-year-old Chelsea to the library for children's reading hour, but when she sat down, the librarian walked up to her and pointed at Chelsea's hearing aids. She said, "This reading is only for normal kids. You and Daddy will have to go home." Chelsea's lip quivered, and the librarian announced loudly, "Sorry parents, we're waiting to start until the disruption goes away." She pointed at Chelsea. My daughter teared up, and I was about to storm over, but then one of the other parents stepped in and told the librarian Chelsea had every right to be here, and if she excluded her, they were all going home. The librarian instantly smiled and backed down, saying, "Of course everyone is welcome," but she had this weird grin like she was planning something. Chelsea sat with everyone, and the librarian said every kid would read one by one. They went around, and Chelsea listened intently, happy her hearing aids worked perfectly. But then, it was her turn. She read "Once Upon," and suddenly started shrieking. She dropped the book, covered her ears, and fell sideways on the rug screaming. I looked over and saw the librarian in her reading chair smirking, hiding a small handheld device in her book, and cranking the dial on the device 2/3 up. I instantly realized she was holding a telecoil, the device libraries use to assist hearing aids. She'd paired it to Chelsea's hearing aid and was blasting tone feedback directly into Chelsea's ear. To Chelsea it sounded like a fire alarm 3 inches from her ear. She screamed, "Please make it stop," and I instantly ran over. The librarian turned the dial down and loudly said, "I tried to warn everybody. Some children just aren't ready for story hour." I carried my crying daughter away and wiped her tears, but as we were about to leave, the librarian fixed her hair, and I noticed she had her own hearing aid. I immediately realized she had only done this to my own daughter because she was ashamed about her own deafness. So I figured, why not fix that? I told Chelsea, and I had an idea, and her eyes lit up. She crept over to the drawer where the telecoils were kept and brought one back. Chelsea smiled and connected it to the librarian's hearing aid, and we waited for her to speak. She stood up and said, "I hope you all had a great time," and suddenly she started screaming. She clutched her ear and fell to the floor shrieking. Chelsea had the dial cranked all the way up. It was like listening to a jet engine pressed against her ear. The librarian was yanking at her ear. She pulled out her hearing aid and threw it across the floor, and just laid there with blood dripping from her ear. Her eardrum was burst, and the other parents just stared at her, realizing she had the same disability she mocked Chelsea for.